Okay, let's look at entering lyrics into Sibelius. So we've got in this version of something 3 separate verses and then obviously a basic chorus that always repeats and uses the same lyrics. So we want to start with our first line of text here and continue that all the way through our song. So what we need to do first is add our first line of text. So we could go up here and we could search for lyrics, and you'll see that lyrics are found under the text tab, lyrics, and lyrics. So text tab, lyrics, and lyrics. We click on that, we'll enter line 1. You'll see the shortcut for that is Command L. So we click on that, and you can see that our pointer is loaded, and we're ready to enter our lyrics. So we can click on the first note that we want a lyric associated with, and our cursor is flashing, and we're ready to enter the notes. So we can just type in our lyrics, 1, period. Now, something that's important to note about how Sibelius handles lyrics. 2 important keystrokes to remember. A hyphen will separate a word, and the space bar tells Sibelius to move to the next note. So if you want to split a word based on a syllable, for example, in this instance here, this is done incorrectly. It should be some hyphen thing, like it is down here. To move to the next note, but separate a word based on the syllable, you use a hyphen. And you use the space bar when you want to tell Sibelius to go to the next note. So in this instance, I wrote 1, period, and I'm not going to hit space bar because if I do, it's going to go to the next note. And I want some to be on the first note. So I'm just going to type some, and then hyphen to tell Sibelius I want to go to the next note, and then type thing. And now I'm ready to move to my next note, which is the third note, to enter the word in. So space bar, and you can see Sibelius stretches everything out to fit properly. Then I can just continue entering my text. In, space, the, space, way, space, she, space, MOVES. And then I hit space bar repeatedly until I get to my next note. And that's attracts, and I spelt it wrong. So I want to go and then hyphen tracks, TRACTS, me, like, no, and then O hyphen THER, and spacebar. And then LO hyphen VER, and spacebar repeatedly until I get to my next note. Now, based on the text that you have selected for your lyrics, you're going to get a different look. This looks like it's all in caps. I didn't type it in caps. It's just that particular font that I have selected types it in caps. Same with this font over here. So based on the font you have selected, it may look a little bit different than this. The important thing is to remember how to get Sibelius to move from note to note, either by splitting the word with a hyphen or by going to a new note based on a new word that you want to enter by using the space bar. Now, assuming we've finished all of our lyrics, we could move and start with the second verse. And we do that the same way. We come up here to lyrics. It's just that we go down to lyrics line 2. You can see our pointer is loaded again. Click on the note, and now we're ready to enter our second line of text. So 2, period, some hyphen where in her smiles, space between each word, she space, knows, space, space, till I get to the next word, that I don't need, no, other, put the hyphen in there, LOVER with the hyphen in between, same thing. So I can continue on like this and finish my lines of text. When I'm finished with the second line, I can go on and add my third line of text. So that's basically how you add text. If you need to go in and fix something, you can double click to change a word or a spelling on a word, like that one. I did a capital and I shouldn't have. Oops. And I didn't do a hyphen, I did an equals, so I'll go back and change that and then click outside. You could also change, any mistakes that you make. You could also click on an individual note by clicking once and then move it left or right with your left or right arrows if your placement isn't exactly the way that you want it. So double click to get in to edit your words in case you want to change something or you make an error. And then single click on one word at a time and then use your left and right arrows if you want to move it. So that's basic lyric entry. Okay, just a few last things to cover and we'll be finished. One of the last elements of our project that we need to go over is how to add symbols to our score. In this case, we've got a sine, we've got a 2-coda sign, and we've got DSL coda sign as well as a fermata. So let's talk about how to add those. Most of those are considered symbols. So we can go under the Notations tab, under the Symbols group, and you can see the sine and coda are the two most commonly used. So we can click on this button right here, and it shows us a bunch of musical signs that we might use in our score. In this case, there's a few that we want to use, so let's go ahead and grab those. So we need a sine. That's going to go right up there at the beginning of measure 2. So we'll click on it, our cursor is loaded, and we can place it right there, measure 2. Now back to there, and we could click on the coda. And we could place a coda sign down here. Now this text right here, 2-coda and DSL coda, are actually functions of repeat. They tell you to repeat to certain places. This tells us to repeat to the sign until we get to the 2-coda sign, which is right here, and then we go down to the coda, which is here. The 2-coda sign is a repeat, but it's also text. So a little tricky. You're going to go under the Text tab and under the Styles button, and there you'll be able to find the 2-coda sign. So if you click on that and click above where you need it to be placed, again you get this flashing cursor. Now you can use the Control and click shortcut that we used for expression text as well as for the tempo to add the specific text that we want. So we click on that. You can see there's a variety of options that we can choose from. This one needs to be 2-coda. And down here we'll do the same thing. And that one needs to be DSL coda. So back to Text, Styles, and Repeat right here. And then we'll place it right here. And Control click and say DSL coda. The last symbol that we want to add, now that we've added our coda and our sign, is our fermata on the last note. So we can click on that note. Fermata, I think, is a symbol, but I'll just type in fermata. Yeah, so notation, symbols, and a fermata above. That's what I want, so I can click on it. There it is right there. I can click on that, and it places a fermata over the note that I had selected. Remember, if I did not have a note selected, it would have loaded my pointer, and then I could have just clicked on the note, and it would have added the fermata. Last bit of cleanup that we may want to do would be to select the whole document, go back to Layout, and hit Optimize. Now, there's a few things that we certainly could go through and manually change if we chose to. One would be, for example, this. I don't really care for how that's placing it. I would rather have that first ending be above the chord symbols. Same with this one. We didn't actually finish inputting all of our chord symbols, so they're not all here. But you can easily go in and move some things around if you need to. For the most part, in Sibelius, you don't need to do much of that, but you certainly can if you choose to, like I'm doing right now. You can also move these around by using the up and down and left and right arrows. And then just clicking outside or away from the item that's selected when you're finished. Okay, that's it. All the information that we have covered should be sufficient for you to complete your Sibelius project.